Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel on this Wednesday. As promised, this week we are here to talk about portion sizes and portion control. Obviously, food is important for life, and as someone who believes himself to be a foodie and really enjoys eating food, we know that all of you probably enjoy different foods and experiencing food. Food has a lot to do with culture. It has a lot to do with interacting with people and the social aspect. So we know that food's not just important to be able to live and have energy, but it's important for your life in general and all of your interactions. So today we want to talk about the portions of foods that you're eating and basically how you can decrease some of the portion sizes of foods that aren't necessarily super healthy for you, and how many of different like fruits, vegetables, carbohydrates, what those portions should be throughout the day, and hopefully target if there's any struggles in terms of trying to figure out how much of something you should be eating. We're going to discuss that today.
So we encourage you to enjoy your food and have a good relationship with food. And to do that, it's important to eat less and to avoid oversized portions. And we understand that over the years, food intake has increased and that the portion sizes have increased over the years. So we will go back and discuss ways to help avoid overeating, and just to make sure you guys know, like Michaela said, what the actual portion sizes are and different ways for you guys to remember them, which will make it easier for the future for you.
So for starters, we're going to go over the proper portion sizes. So basically, breaking up the food groups into fruits, veggies, carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. We're gonna discuss what size portion you should be getting for each of these. So to start, fruits and vegetables. For that, you should be getting 2 to 4 servings a day, and 1 serving of a fruit or vegetable is about the size of a baseball. So if you have a baseball, you can kind of do a comparison there. Or also you can compare the size of your fist. So 1 whole fist, just like this, whether that be, a small or medium-sized apple, a medium-sized bell pepper or tomato. That is kind of how you can assess, is this a serving? Is this more than a serving? And from there you can see, again, trying to get 2 to 4 servings a day for these.
For carbohydrates, it's recommended that when you have your carbohydrates, you try to focus on a whole grain or a whole wheat option, because that has more of the protein that your body needs to break down. However, it's still important to watch the portion size of that. So whenever you look at your hand, for example, whenever you cup your hand, about that, the size of what you have in your palm when you cup your hand is about the serving of that. You could also use a hockey puck as a reference as to the size of it and the thickness of how much of the grains or carbs that you should be having.
And the next are your protein. So your protein should be about the size of your palm, and then the thickness of a deck of 52 cards. So that's about normally equivalent to 3 ounces of the protein. So whether that be fish or chicken or turkey, that would be a serving, and you want to try and get 3 servings of protein in a day. Of course, your protein doesn't always have to be a lean meat. You can get protein from Greek yogurt or cottage cheese, or quinoa or lentils. There are a bunch of different other forms of protein to get that into your diet as well. But when it comes to lean meats and fish, that is the best way to kind of eyeball and see if you're doing a serving, 2 servings, and going from there.
And for fats that you're consuming, even if it is a heart healthy fat or if it's labeled as a healthier fat for you, you still want to watch the content that you're consuming, only because of the potential for your heart health, like we talked about last month. So whenever you're looking at the portion of fat, use your thumb as an example. You can use it 3 different ways. You can have a thumbs up, and the amount that your thumb holds is the amount you should have. If you take it and put your thumb on your fist, when you make a fist, the amount of your thumb on that side like that. Or if you take your thumb and you place it on the palm of your hand, how much surface area your thumb takes up is the amount of fat that you should be having. Now that can be with the oil, the butter where it's solidified, or for cheese, nuts, and any other thing that could have fat in it.
A few other ways to assess what your serving size is. Of course, check the food label to see what the serving size is of each ingredient or food that you're eating. And then when you are adding that to a dish or eating a serving of it, is measuring it. So whether the serving size be in grams, so you're weighing it out, or it's in cups, half a cup, or teaspoons, just measuring it out that way. That way you're really aware of what you're getting and you're not just eyeballing it, because obviously sometimes when we just are looking at something with our eyes, you know, eyes bigger than our stomach, that sort of situation, we don't really realize how much we're adding. This isn't something that we're saying you have to do with everything, but you know, if you're a person that likes different sweets or salty things, just making sure that you're not overeating those by actually portioning them out can really help you to realize how much extra you were eating throughout the day once you cut it back to just one serving a day.
And also pay attention to your body. Make sure you stop eating whenever you're satisfied and not when you're full. Because a lot of times when you are full, that's when you become uncomfortable, and that's a sign of overeating, and that's what we want to avoid with these portions and everything. So we really want you to keep an eye on your body and be done eating whenever you're done. Now, with that being said, if there's still food on your plate, we don't need it to go to waste, but you don't have to finish it. So if you have leftovers, make sure you wrap them up and put them in your fridge and eat them within a reasonable time, or ask somebody else if they would like to finish it. Just try not to make yourself sick by eating everything on your plate. And something that we read and came across was a quote that says, "A moment on your lips is a year on the hips." So if you find that you're wanting to overeat, or if you want to finish that food because it's just so good, remember that little saying and just use that as a motivation for you.
And then another little trick that we oftentimes tell our patients are, if you have two different size plates in your house, try and pull out the smaller size plates, maybe like the cake plate size plates. That way your mind thinks that when you put the food on your plate that you're actually getting more than you truly are if you would have pulled the larger plate out. That way you think that you're eating more, so you're listening to your body's signals, getting full. Again, if after you finish that plate, you're still hungry and you want to go back for a little bit more food, that's perfectly fine, because at the end of the day, you already ate a smaller portion to begin with. So going back for a little bit more is okay, because you didn't pile up a large plate with a lot of, 2, 3, 4 portions worth of the food originally.
And for our patients and anyone watching this video who tends to eat out, or even likes to eat out on occasion and is always worried about overeating at the restaurant or not ordering the best option, we like to tell our patients to ask for a to-go container as soon as they order their food. So when the waitress or waiter comes up and asks you what you would like to eat for your meal, always ask them, be like, "I'll take this, but can I also have a to-go container?" Or you can always ask them for a smaller portion, or a kid size, or I think even a senior size plate is a smaller portion. So you can just be creative and ask a waitress or whoever you're talking to what they have to offer in the forms of a smaller portion. But that to-go container is awesome, because that way you have one meal for today and then you have leftovers for tomorrow. That way you don't have to worry about cooking.
So of course today we wanted to go through portion control and portion sizes, because it's important when it comes to weight loss. It's really easy when you're not really paying attention to what you're putting in your body to end up overeating, especially when our body gets used to eating so much. When we dial it back a little bit, at first, we do feel a sense of hunger. We might not feel that satiety, like full. But our body does get used to it and does realize that it might not actually need that many calories in order to survive day to day. So this is something that you can implement and start off slow. Don't suddenly knock out half of your calorie intake that you're used to, but just kind of pull back a little bit, see and track how much you might really be intaking throughout the day, and assess it and evaluate, do I really need this much? Are there places that I can improve in terms of my nutrition? And let us know in the comments if you do try any of these little tricks and if they help you out.
And for next week, we are going to be going over water, the importance of water, and why your body needs it.
And we hope that you like today's video and that you get some ideas from it. Please like and subscribe, comment if you do try anything, and we will see you next week.
Thank you guys.